Okay, let's talk about cake, and in fact, any nutrient that you're going to use, any nutrient at all that you're going to consume. There, let's take a quick look at the wiki, the fandom wiki. No Man's Sky nutrient ingester. Okay, so the nutrient ingester. It's an add-on for your exosuit that you can get here at the Anomaly from the exosuit person. And here's all the different things. And here's the effect. And here's the duration. So you just Google it. Google No Man's Sky or NMS like I did. NMS nutrient ingester. And there's a list. A long list. It seems like the first quarter of it, all for breathing efficiency. But it starts with the best at the top of the list when it breaks into a new category. It starts with the best stuff first, and of course those are going to be. And you can click on it to see, the information. Probably get the recipe, etc., etc. But I promise you this: the best stuff is not going to be an easy recipe. Okay? You can bet on that. It's not going to be easy. And when you start getting into the cooking and stuff, you could just turn that into a full-time occupation in this game, cooking. Okay, and then you get all that stuff for breathing efficiency. I don't even use any of it. I don't do breathing efficiency. Cold resistance. Okay, I do cold resistance, but I'm down here. Cactus jelly. That's the one I use. Cactus jelly. It's pretty easy to make. It gives me a plus 51% cold resistance for 8 minutes. And these things are stackable, not for the effect, but for the time. So this is what you get if you take one. If you take 2 cactus jellies, you double the time. It's 16, and you can stack as many as you want. Some people just take their whole however many they have and when they're done, they just go remove the rest of them from the list. I don't know. I just usually do one at a time because you can add them as they're going. Like I take one for 8 minutes, and after 5 minutes, I realize, oh crap, this is going to take longer than I thought. I could put another one in there and add another 8 minutes while run is still running. It just adds 8 more minutes to whatever time you have left. So you can add. You don't have to wait for it to end and hope you're going to get it at the right time and maybe lose the buff. But you can add it while it's still running. All right. The analysis rewards. So when you analyze fauna or when you analyze foliage, you can get a huge percentage buff. Now, but those are like you get credits. You get units of credit, for those things. So that just basically just gives you more coin in your pocket, but a large amount on those things. If you're into that, again, that's not anything I use. The hazard protection. I think I have one. I don't remember which. I'm not sure. I might not have a hazard protection. But I might have it one time. I just don't remember which one it was. I don't remember which one. But it was down here somewhere. Maybe the enriched biscuit. 6 minutes for 22%. That, why I don't mess with it, because it's not much. Heat resistance. I've done that one. I have the one that you can make from. You just need one plant that you can. I just firewater. That's the one. And I forget what the name of the plant is. But you can go look this up on the internet and you can find out all about it. Anyway, the list goes on. Your jetpack tanks, your life support, and mineral analysis buffs, mining speed buffs, radiation resistance buffs, recharge time buffs, resources mined buffs, and that's where the cake comes in. And you'll notice the questionably sweet cake is the top one. It's one of the top ones. There's another one, that whatever that one is. But 64% resources mined for 10 minutes for each cake you take. You get 20. Again, you can double time. You can stack. All right, 64% more when you eat a cake through the nutrient ingester. Okay. Resources in mind, shield strength, solar panel powers. Like if you have the solar panel to help out. That's the one you put on your exosuit. I forget what it does now. It helps you though. Your sprint distance. It's on and on and on. Oh, well, I was almost done here. I have no idea what the unspecified is. That's, I guess, why it's I've tried these things. I forget which one it was. Oh, the wild yeast. It said it was supposed to give you plus one word translated. So when you go and you learn a new word, you're supposed to get a second one. I took the wild yeast. I went to a knowledge stone and it didn't tell me I learned another word, so I kind of blew that one off. I don't know. Maybe I learned another word and I just didn't know. I didn't check my stats beforehand. Maybe I should have done that. Anyway, toxic resistance, sprint recovery time. Anyway, get the idea, okay? So, and in case you don't know, at the anomaly, you go where all the other guys are. You go back to the back to the exosuit, dude. I'm sure everyone knows this already, but what the heck? We're gonna talk about cakes. Got to talk about the nutrient. Okay, there he is, exosuit. Jesus, I was wondering why I wasn't seeing it. Tried the right person. The one in the back over here, the one with the long tongue. Yeah, there it is. Right there, nutrient ingester. That's what you're going to need to make it, because all you get here is the blueprint. You don't actually buy the item, you buy the blueprint. So, and I have no idea how many, but it's nanites. You don't have to have the salvage module things. It's just nanites. You buy it with nanites. All right. Okie dokie. Here, I'll throw this person some cake while I'm here if they'll take it. Oh, good, they took it. All right. So that's the first step. If you're gonna use the cake now, if you want to, because I'm gonna tell you a little bit about how I make the cake and give you a little bit of information on making cake. And this is just the first part of the video. If you just want to consume, and my offer still stands. If you watch my videos and you want some cake, get your nutrient ingester, leave me a message, and I'll get you some cake. All right? Got it? Okay. All right. So I'm at a location, undisclosed location, an undisclosed location that I call Tasty Treats. Okay? Tasty Treats. And You can see by all the refiners and stuff, this is a busy place. Okay, so first things first. Location is important for many reasons, but for this location, because you're going to need at least 2 locations. This is where I get the bulk of my stuff, because you need a lot of different stuff to make the cake. And I got 2 harvesters. Notice how close the feeders are to the harvester. Don't be putting your feeders in the other county. Keep them close. Because basically, if the animals aren't like within 20 to 30 units, 20 is better, 20 and under, and you see the stuff flying, you can actually see it happen when it collects it. And plus the icon over there over the animal changes. It's they have different meanings depending on what the icon. Like plus means they just gave something. The leaf-looking one, like that one there, means they got something to give. And they get a question mark sometimes too. I'm thinking that's the newbies that are saying, "What the hell just happened?" I have no idea what the question mark is, but because if you look at the plus one, I think if you get close to them, it'll say they're empty or they were just recently fed or whatever. Okay, so because this is a busy place here and because this is where the bulk of my work happens, I got 2. So the biggest thing is when you come to this place, make sure your guys are full. Don't run out of pellets. You got to feed pellets to these things. Take out the pellets that are there and fill it up with 200 pellets. So you're ready to rock and roll for a while. Same with this one, because I got 2 of them. I don't know. Oh, I might not have enough pellets here. Let's see. Yeah, I got enough. Okay. All right, so I've got 400 pellets sitting in here. Got 2 harvesters running, and they're good to go. But notice the location here. It's a nice, flat, large, open area. Okay? When it comes to this portion of it, that's what you want. Don't find some skinny little crevice in the valley of a mountain or something, you know? Look at how many animals, and I just got here. This is but this is a site that I've had for a while, so I guess I'm well known to the animals. They kind of just hang out in the area and wait for me. No, not really. I mean, they despawn when I leave. Anyway, and these guys use a fair amount of electricity. You notice, I mean, all I got on my house in there is that uses electricity is the terminus. So, what do I got up there? I got, of course, this is a lava planet too. So, you know, it's not. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 batteries and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solar cells, and that seems to work for this setup. But don't try to set up something like this, especially if you're going to do 2 harvesters and 2 feeders, because they both use electricity. That's 4 units that use electricity there. 2 harvesters and 2 feeders. All 4 of them use electricity. And then I got my terminus using electricity. And that's it. I don't have nothing else in here using electricity. So we got that happening, right? And you want to be at a place that has larger animals. It is good. The recipe tells you you're supposed to use creature eggs, but I get more tall eggs here than I do creature eggs. And you can use the tall eggs as well. There you go. So I guess I could show you the. I'll show that in a minute. This is my breakdown. Okay. So I did the farming quest when you first start playing the game. Okay. So I got those 12. For any of y'all who watch my videos, you've seen I just set up a huge horticulture hydroponics blah blah in my freighter. So cactus is one of the plants that you get from doing that farming quest, and frost crystals. Uh, it's not called. Maybe it is. With frost crystals is what you get from the plant. It's called frost something. The plant is. So, so those two ingredients you get from doing that farming quest that you when you start playing the game, you do the farming quest and you get 12 different plants that you can grow in hydroponics. Okay. And then from this location, I get milk, which is another ingredient that you need. And then I get eggs, which is another ingredient, like I say here, creature eggs or tall eggs. All right. But see, it's 9 steps. So I use the cactus flesh, and I make cactus nectar with that. And with that cactus nectar, then I process each. This is a step in the processor. Cactus flesh, I do stacks of 100. I store all of mine in my, hold on. Oops. Let me get to the right place. In my ship. Oops. In my starship, because it's floating up above, so I can use it for storage. So in the starship, I get to store stacks of 100 because I'm making high volume. I work in stacks of 100. If you work in the nutrient processor, you only get to work with stacks of 50. Okay, 50. There's no such thing as a stack of 100 in the nutrient processor if you use the ingredient inventory. So that's why I use my ship. So if you're just making for your own personal use, you could probably work with stacks of 50. Probably don't need stacks of 100. Okay, so let me get back to the recipe here. So the cactus flesh gives me cactus nectar. And then I process the cactus nectar, and that gives me sugar. All right? The frost crystals, another plant that I get this from a plant from the farming quest. Process that to get glass grains. The glass grains I then process to get refined flour. Okay? One of the ingredients I get here at this location, my Tasty Treats location from all these wonderfully kind animals, is milk. I run that through the processor to give me cream. And then I take the cream and it gives me churned butter. Well, then I take the churned butter and the processed sugar that I made up here, and I put those together, and that gives me sweetened butter. So then I made the flour right here through this 2-step process. So then I take my sweetened butter, my refined flour, and creature eggs or tall eggs. Now I'm working in stacks of 100, so that means whenever I do one of these, like that's 100 cactus flesh gives me 100 cactus nectar. 100 cactus nectar gives me 100 processed sugar. 100 frost crystals. You get the idea. So when I'm down here, it's 100 churned butter plus 100 processed sugar outputs 100 sweetened butter. And then the next step, we're making the batter, and that's where the eggs come in. And so you need 100 eggs, 100 sweetened butter, 100 refined flour, and 100 eggs. Same with the milk up here. You need 100 milk to make that 100 cream. And then we output 100 cake batter. And then at another website, I get sticky honey. And so you take that, the last step is to take the 100 cake batter with 100 sticky honey, and I end up getting 100 cakes. And basically, that's the process. The sticky honey comes from the locks. If you watch my previous videos, you see me mention the locks. And I know you've seen them. If you've done any exploring in this game, you've been on a planet where you've seen some living creature bouncing around. Doesn't have any legs, doesn't have any arms. It just bounces around. And sometimes they look like they got a plant growing out of the top of them. Sometimes they don't. There's many different varieties, but they all are part of the lock, L-O-K, lock family. And so any place where I've seen them on Toxic Worlds, mostly. I've seen almost every Toxic World seems to have them. But I've even seen them on Paradise Planets. But those are the guys that give you the sticky honey. Is the locks. But you set up the same thing here. You set up a harvester and you set up a feeder. And they come and just like these guys, and they come and eat the pellets, and then the harvester collects stuff. And then you go to the harvester, just like you're going to a storage container. And you see here, from these, I got 10 leopard fruit, which I'm still working on what I'm going to do with those one of these days. I think there's some ice cream I can make that leopard fruit is used as like a flavoring. And of course milk, I get milk. But these stacks will go up to 100 here inside here. So there's no hurry, because you got what? You got 4x3. You got 12 slots that'll hold 100 in each slot. So, but there's tall eggs. Like I said, you can use tall eggs or creature eggs. Either way, doesn't matter in this recipe. All right. So I'm gonna grab those eggs, because that's the main thing that and I just put them in my starship. The milks, I usually let them, because it doesn't matter. You get wild milk and fresh milk. Doesn't matter on the milk either. Okay, it's milk is milk. Now there is a proto milk. You'll see here. Do I have any right now? I don't. I might have some proto milk. Yeah, there's warm proto milk. You cannot use that milk. That will not work in this recipe. All right. Just letting you know on that one. There are certain things that won't work. And then there was another kind of honey, I think. What was it here? I think it was synthetic. Yeah, there it is. Synthetic honey. That also will not work. You have to use sticky honeys. Syrupy nectar that kind of looks like it's the same thing. No, it's not. Sticky honey. It has to be sticky honey. And I'll go to another base and show you some locks in a little bit. Right now I'm just. So this is the deal. You have to sit here. You have to stay here. Okay, so here I got some tall eggs. I'm going to put that in the starship. And some creature eggs. See, notice I only got 2 creature eggs. But yeah, the milk, I usually let it build up, until it gets to almost 100. Because, I basically watch my inventory. I go to the, and you always want to sort. When you go look, sort. If you're going to use you don't have a sort. I don't believe there's a sort in this ingredient thing here. No, there's no sort here when you use the ingredient in a nutrient processor. And I don't know what that recipe catalog, I think, is just the recipes that you've actually, ones that you have made. It's not other, these are recipes that I've made, things that I've run through the nutrient processor. They're considered recipes. All right. Am I saying it? Yeah, it's nutrient processor. Okay. That was weird because it was saying refiner there. But here, yeah, that's right. I can't show you the cake that way because that's not how we make the cake. All right. So anyway, as I was saying, I use the shift. That's another reason I use it, so I hit sort. That will combine whenever I dump something in there. If it doesn't get put in the right place with something, it'll combine. And if it ends up down at the bottom of the list down here, I can sort it and it'll group them in the group together. Like, all the common milks will be in one place. You're not going to have them all mixed up. So, see, there's a slight difference on the way it looks here, the icon. And it would be really easy to get confused if you got all that mixed together. Then there's the cactus. That's what the cactus flesh looks like. And this is the frost crystals. That's what the frost crystal. Well, I got an overabundance, so that's just the overflow frost crystals. Here's the because I got overflow on both right now because I haven't been. But okay, so it's a process. You have to keep an eye because. You just don't want to make all your milk and all your flour and all your, don't want to, next thing you know, you filled up your inventory and you ain't got no room to make nothing. So you have to keep an eye on it. So a general rule of thumb is, and, when you make a one-on-one, okay, like when you take a milk, I'm processing the milk, I'm making a cream, okay? So I'm not gaining and I'm not losing. But every time I collect something from an animal, I'm losing an open slot, okay? So unless I'm working on the same stack, because my stack's not full yet, and I already got, but once a new stack starts, you're taking up a slot, all right? So you got to watch, especially if you're working with that inventory in the nutrient processor, because that's very limited. My Starship is maxed out. I don't know how many slots I got, 70 or 80 or whatever. It's a lot, and whatever the max is, it's maxed out. I remember when I first started putting stuff in here, you got 60 available slots, when you go to transfer some. But nowadays, I don't see numbers like that no more because I always got a lot of stuff in there. So you got to be careful, Of course, I got my storage containers in my ship, so I can always go up to my ship. I can always put them in the storage container in the ship, too. But, I can't pull them out of the ship. I can put them in, but I have to go up to the ship to pull them out. Anyway, you'll notice here, I got sweetened butter. Now, since I sorted, I know that all of these are sweetened butter. Every single, I could go on and one by one and show you, but I know those are all sweetened butter. So I got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sweetened butter. So I don't need to make any sweetened butter right now. So, right? So I don't need to process any milk right now because the milk makes the cream makes the churned butter makes the sweetened butter, all right? So I don't need to be processing milk right now. I got a lot of sweetened butter. See where I'm going with the inventory thing? You don't want to. I only got one flour, so I could make some flour if I wanted to. But the bottom line right now is, how many honey do I have? All right, I got 88 sticky honey, and I need at least 100 to make a cake, right? And I cannot get sticky honey at this location. This location is not. That's a whole separate base where I get my sticky honey. So I'm not. I'm not going to be. I'm not there. I don't need flour because I'm not, unless I want to make cake batter, because I don't have any cake batter. So it depends on how many eggs, because I got to have the eggs to make the cake batter. See, right now I have 54 creature eggs, and let's see, no tall eggs. Oh, there they are. 59 tall eggs. All right, so I don't have enough to do anything with my eggs. So, I mean, I got flour to make one batch, okay? So I got to wait on the eggs. And then I can use that flour. And then I can make another flour. Yeah, I could make another flour now. I mean, I got space if I wanted to. I mean, when I really get cooking here, it's because you can see all the refiners I got. I mean, all the nutrient processors. I got a bunch of them over here and over there. I got a couple of them as well. So, when I really get to cooking, there has been times where I've had every single one of these going. That happens. But basically, you're just hanging out. Sometimes I'll come here, and because in this game, there's no such thing as a inactivity timeout. I've been known to come here, fill up those feeders, and go watch a movie, or go grocery shopping, or make dinner and eat it, and just leave this guy sitting here, And I might check in, like if I'm watching TV, when the commercials come on, I'll come over and I'll come over and check. I'll come over here and check the harvest, because I can do it from inside. Because this is a planet, bad weather outside and stuff. I set up my harvesters this way on purpose, close to the windows, so that I don't have to go outside to collect them. So let's see here, we're gonna need eggs. So we got 2 creature eggs. I'll put that in the starship. We got 23 tall eggs, I'm sure, and we'll put that in the starship. And I still don't have a full stack of anything else, so I'm just going to leave them in there. Okay, then I'll go over and check this other harvester here. I got 18 tall eggs, put it in the starship. I got 5 creature eggs, I'll put it in the starship. And again, I don't have a full stack of anything else, so I ain't worried about it. Okay, so now I go and I look at my starship. The first thing I do is I hit the sort, make sure everything's all grouped together, and okay, I got 61 creature eggs, and there you go. I got 100 tall eggs. Okay, so now I'm ready to rock and roll. That third step, I can make a batch. I can make a cake batter, which I don't have any cake batter, so I can make a cake batter. Might as well make a cake batter. All right, so to make a cake batter, I got to have the sweetened butter. Well, got plenty of those. I got to have a refined flour. Yep, I got one of those. And I got to have the eggs. So, let's rock and roll. Let's make a cake batter. So I go over here and I just scroll down. These, if you use the nutrient processor, you can select these. Now I know that the eggs are a raw ingredient, but I'm not sure what the refined flour is not considered. I know it's not considered a raw ingredient, but I don't know if it's considered processed or complex. I don't know. So I usually just leave it on all ingredients and then just scroll through. But if I'm in a rush, then for eggs, I know eggs is a raw ingredient. Milk, I know milk is a raw ingredient, because that's, it's raw ingredient. I just collected it. I hadn't done nothing to it. It's just come from the animal that way. That's a raw ingredient. Or it come from the plant. When I want to make the glass grains from the frost crystal plant, that's a raw ingredient. It hasn't had any kind of processing yet. Okay, so I could use this filter for raw ingredient. In those cases, it just makes the search a little shorter. It takes out some of the items in the list. But I ain't in no hurry. Like I said, I'm a retired person. And you don't want to rush. I mean, like me, I work with stacks of 100. You can see I got stacks in here that aren't 100. And I got some that looks like butter, but that's not the right butter. And that's not a stack of 100. You got to pay attention. I do, the way, because I got a lot of, because when you're on all, and even on these other ones, even if you click raw, it's looking like I got a ship up there with storage containers in it, and I got all the ingredient inventory in the nutrient price. It's looking everywhere. Plus what's in my inventory and my exosuit, plus what's in the ship inventory. So yeah, it's looking everywhere for everything when you go in here. So just take your time. Don't save yourself the headache if you select the wrong thing and then you got to fix it, or it didn't work and you didn't get it, or you wasted whatever because you mixed it with the wrong thing. So now you got to wait. Okay, so that's 100 sweetened butter. I know that's an ingredient. I'll put that up there, and I'll go to the next square. And let's see here, what do I got coming up? I think the flour comes up next, or is it the eggs? There's the tall eggs. The eggs come up next. Okay, there's 100 tall eggs. All right, and then we should have 100 flour here somewhere. We only got one of them, but that's a pretty in-your-face icon too. So there it is. Pretty easy to see that one. Okay, and you can see over here that's going to give us cake batter, 100 cake batter, because we got 100 of each one of these. So we're going to get 100 cake batters, and we mix that with 100 honey, and we're going to get 100 cakes. But that takes 4 minutes and 10 seconds to run. Boom, hit begin, and we're done. So that will make the cake batter in 4 minutes. It'll notify us that it's done. So, like I said, it's a wait. It's a lot of sitting and waiting on this stuff. Because if you leave, let's say, even if I wanted to go out on this planet here and I wanted to go hard, say I was low on carbon, so I'm going to get my Minotaur out and I'm going to go blow me down some trees and I need some ferrets, so I'm going to shoot up some rocks and I'm going to collect some resources. If you go outside the boundaries of this base, all these animals will despawn and you won't be collecting anything. You have to stay within the boundaries of your base in order for this process to be collecting anything. You step outside the boundary, and I don't know if you saw my video earlier where I discussed 400 units. Let's say this is, okay, that's north, okay? 400 units north of here is the boundary, the northern boundary for the base. 400 units south of here is the southern boundary for the base. 400 units to the east of here is the eastern boundary for the base. You get the picture? You got 800 units across for your base. If you go outside the boundary, this stops working. All the animals will despawn. Because I've done that before. I went out getting research. I thought as long as I was on the planet, I was good. And then I came back and all the animals were gone. It was like starting up again, So, just want to let you know that's an important little tidbit to remember. Don't naysay that important tidbit. That's important. You don't want to leave the boundaries of your base while this collection is happening. If you do, the collection will stop because all the animals will immediately despawn. They will no longer be there. All right, so let's see what else I didn't mention. I got this here because sometimes I just get more milk than I need. Oh, that's another thing to mention. Let's talk about Okay, look at this. Here's fresh milk. That fresh milk is worth 2,912 units each. So a stack of 100 is worth 291,000. See that? Okay. The wild milk here isn't worth as much. All right. There's a stack of 100, so we're comparing apples to apples here. But it's worth about half as much. But both of them work in the recipe, so it really don't matter. But I'm just talking about money right now, okay? Both of these will make churned butter, which is usable in this recipe. And churned butter is churned butter. It doesn't make any difference what kind of milk you use to make churned butter. Churned butter is worth 7,200 units each. There's a 100 stack is worth 720,000. So if you make that churned butter from this wild milk, you went from a product worth 136,000 to a product that is worth 720,000. Okay, so if I get an overstock of milk, I don't just sell the milk, I process it. Because milk goes to cream. Okay, let's see, do I have a cream here? I don't have a cream. So, oh yeah, there's one. Milk, and it doesn't matter what kind of milk it is. Cream is cream, no matter what kind of milk. So there's the in-between. It goes from milk to cream. Cream is worth, as a stack of 100 cream, 540,000 units. You take that cream and it becomes churned butter. It's 720,000. Now, when you mix the sugar in with it and you make it into sweetened butter, that's a stack of 100 sweetened butter worth 2.6 million. And if you look on the bottom part of that screen where it says E to consume, if you consume it, not in the ingester, that means just if you just click E and you consume it, it gives you 40% life support. I don't know what sweetened butter gives you when you take it through the nutrient ingester. I would have to look. Let's see here. Let's see what it says here. Oh, darn it. Sweetened butter? Yeah, sweetened butter. Let's just see. 10 minutes for each one. No. This is 10 hours because it's 100 of them. So it's going to be 10 minutes for one of them. It's 68% on your life support tanks. All right. Well, let me make sure I got that right. 10 minutes. Let me just put one up there. Oh man. Hold on, I gotta pull the whole stack and put one in there. 6 minutes, okay, sorry. 6 minutes for 68% in your life support tanks. Okay, now did I mess up my inventory there on my butter? All I got to do is sort it and it'll straighten itself out. Okay. Oops, wrong. Starship. There we go. Make sure I don't have no sweetened butter that says 99. No, it's good. Okay, so if you do get an overstock of something, it's best to refine it. That's my point. To go ahead and process it, make more money. You know, why should you sell that milk if you got to look at all this milk I got here, you know? But, you know, who knows if I'm going to need it or not. I wait till I'm seriously overstocked before I worry about that kind of thing. But, You know, why should I sell that milk? Even that milk, you know, for 291,000 when I can turn it into to churn butter and get almost 3 times as much, you know. Or if I want to go even further and mix the sugar in with it and get, holy moly, you know, where'd we go from? 177 to 2.6 million, whatever number that is. I'd have to get my calculator out for that one. 100, 200 times, whatever. Yeah. So it's a lot of sitting and waiting. Okay, it's a lot of sitting and waiting. I heard the thing go off, so that means our cake batter is done. And we can't do nothing with it because we don't have honey. All right. So, oops, Starship. So see, I got 55. You notice when I put that in there, it told me I had 55 storages, open storages on my Starship right now. So it's a good idea to keep an eye on those things. That's why I'm not sitting here going crazy making stuff, because it's and besides, I have a lot of cakes right now. If you'll look, I mean, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I got 13 cakes on my Starship. 1,300, and then 1, 2, 3 more. So that's 1,600 plus 86 for my. I consider that my personal use. You know. So I got plenty. I mean, I think the most I've ever given away on the visit to Anomaly was maybe six cakes. And that's when the Anomaly was very busy. And it is the weekend. It's Friday night tonight when I'm making this video. And I've already been there once today. Earlier, I went there around noon. I think I gave away 3 or 4 cakes. And you just saw me at the beginning of this video. I went there, and that was around 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., whatever. I'm getting ready to eat pizza. And while I watch these guys give me their stuff. So, but you can see it. You can see it happening. You see stuff flying into these machines, and then it starts rotating. Whenever these things start rotating, the centers start turning. There, that one's turning. That means it got stuff. When you see that turning, that's like hearing the cash register go ding, 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 ding. You're getting stuff. That's making, you're getting stuff. But you can see it flying out of them. And it comes from all directions. It's just not in front of them. I mean, I've seen it from the side, from the back, from all directions. Stuff will come flying into that thing. You think these front 2 things are like the antennas and everything's got to come. No, that ain't. Those are just there for looks. Stuff comes flying from all directions. 360 degrees around the thing. Stuff will come in flying. Now this is the guy that gives creature eggs. You know, if you research this, when I researched it at first, I said, oh, I gotta find that guy. Look at that. Man, we got nasty weather out there right now. That, whatever he's called, he's a Pterosopolis or whatever the hell he's called. He's the one that gives, he or she is the one that gives creature eggs. But I've noticed he's not the only one. I was under the impression that was the only one that gave creature eggs. That is not the truth at all. The larger animals. I've gone to other planets, and I've seen animals that are 2-3 times larger than that one, and not even as intimidating looking. But you know, I have been out here in the middle of the frenzy of these animals eating and stuff, and I've never ever had one attack me. Even that mean one. That one's supposed to be the mean one. So anyway, yeah, large animals give you the creature eggs. But like I said, I get more tall eggs from these guys. Here at this location, I get more tall eggs than I do creature eggs. And so I'm quite grateful that you can use either one in the recipes. I'm telling you, you just find a planet that's got a lot of animals and a lot of big animals, and you'll find all the eggs and milk that you need for this portion of it. And then you find you another planet that's got a lot of those locks on there, the ones that don't got no arms and legs, and they hop around, and you'll get all the sticky honey that you want. Again, it's where you set up the location. It's a wide open area, and the number of animals on in the area, or on the planet. So, if it's not good, move the base to a different location, or a different planet. Try a different planet, And like I said, this is my third base on this planet for collecting these. Primarily here for the eggs was the reason I came here, and didn't realize I was going to actually get more milk than I did eggs. Milk is easy to get. You can get milk from any animals, from any size, anywhere. Milk is easy to find. That's not a problem at all. It's the eggs that are a little bit of a challenge. The honey's pretty easy to find too, because you can find those locks in a lot of places, but they're not necessarily in abundance everywhere. You might find a few something here and there, but a few here and there is going to mean a lot of sitting and waiting. Unless, like I said, log into the game before you go to bed, Go to your base, fill up the feeder, wake up in the morning, and you'll have all the honey in there. It's not always immediate gratification kind of thing. Sometimes it's work smart, not hard, Sometimes you just go to bed, go grocery shopping, go see a movie, go watch a movie on TV, check your stuff during the commercials. There's things you don't have to sit. You don't have to sit and stare at the computer screen going, God, I wish they'd hurry. God, I only need 2 more eggs and I can make a batch. And, oh, come on, man, it's taking forever. And, don't stress yourself out like that. It's just a game, really, when it boils down to it. But, yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with leaving your computer on overnight while you sleep and letting it collect stuff, letting it work for you, I knew I would think of something else while I was eating my pizza, so I finished my pizza. It sure was good. Yummy. Okay. The plants. Hold on, let me see if I can remember where they're at here. The cactus, that's the name of the plant. That's the one that gives you the cactus flesh. Okay, and you can find that on planets. So if you didn't have the farming quest, then you can get that plant. Now the other one, frostwort. It's called frostwort for a reason, because you're going to find it on frozen planets, cold planets. But if I remember correctly, and it doesn't say anything about it here on the if I remember correctly, you have to have these special gloves in order to to collect that one. And you get those gloves, I think, when you do the farming thing. And I don't know if you did not do the farming quest, if you can get those hazmat gauntlet. Let's see what the wiki says. Hazmat gauntlet. Okay. Hazmat. Oh, there it is. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Hazmat gauntlet. Let's see here. Hazmat times of players to handle and harvest hazardous. Oh, look at list them. See if it does it say. Yep, frost wart from the yields. Okay, so yes, you do have to have the gloves to handle that in order to collect it. And what I'm wondering is if it's available. Yes, you're in luck. The blueprint can be bought from the Exosuit Upgrade Merchant on the Space Anomaly. All right. Happy days are here again. Yeah. There you go. Okay. So if you haven't done the farming, you can still do this. But you got to get them gloves. Okay? All right. Okay, so here I am. Wall of flame detected. Oh no, I'm going to get back inside. I just arrived here at my place. Let me fill up the feeder. Oh no, I don't have enough. Well, that's enough. I'm not going to be here that long. Okay. Let me get back inside. Again, this is a nasty weather kind of place, so I set up the harvester right here. It's toxic out there, and storms come and go. And this is another one of those places where there's no space station here. Okay, that's locked. That's our first one. We'll see more. Right. Now, there's two ways to make pellets. You can make pellets in the nutrient processor, but it takes some time to do it that way. But I don't know if it's cheaper to do it that way. But what I usually do is I make it here in my crafting. See, I got pellets there, creature pellets. But look, to make 5 creature pellets, it's 60 carbon. Okay, so I usually make 200 at a time, right? That's 2,400 carbon. I cannot believe I was doing that. Wow. Okay, so we need 200 carbon. See, we're not going to get a nice even number, so we can go all the way down, and then it'll, I think, usually it goes up to like 10, and then, yep, and then it does even numbers. And we got 200, and that'll give us 200 pellets, and that takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds. That's why I was doing it the other way. I didn't even notice the price difference, though. Because when I do it the other way, it's immediate. I can get 200, bam, right now. I don't have to wait 8 minutes. But since I'm going to be here 8 minutes anyway, Okie dokie. Well, so that's about it. You find your place, find yourself a place. Like I said, these locks, you can find them anywhere. But here, let me look at this plan and see what it says on. Again, I'll have to edit it out. Ample fauna. Ample. Usually I rush in and rush out. I come in the door and I make a round, maybe 2 rounds around the anomaly, throw out my cake, and then I leave. But that weekend, I went and made a round and threw out some cakes, and 2 of the people started asking me questions. They were very new to the game, and they wanted to know if I had any tips for them. They wanted to know what the cake was for, and one guy says, "Well, all I know is it's worth a lot of money, you know." And another guy was like, "Yeah, and it helps you with your whatever the hell it gave you when you just consume it." I said, "Yeah, but you need to use a nutrient process. I mean, a nutrient ingester, and then you get 64% more when you're collecting resources." And they're like, "Wow, really? That's big." And I'm going, "Yeah." I said, "But you gotta go see the person in the anomaly here for your exosuit and get the nutrient ingester, and then you consume the cake through the nutrient ingester, and then you'll get that buff." "Thanks a lot. Oh, wow, that's awesome." And one guy said, "Well, where do I get the recipe?" And I said, "Oh, and I'll tell y'all now. You just go to nomanskyrecipes.com, and you can find every recipe that you never wanted to know." There are so many recipes in this game. Like I said, it's a cavernous rabbit hole. Yep, nomanskyrecipes.com. You want the recipe, you just go on it. It's not simple. It's not easy. It's not something you just go out and collect a few things and you can make this cake. No. You got to set up at least 2 bases for it. I don't think you're ever going to find a base that's going to give you both sticky honey and eggs in one place, but you might if you get real lucky. Who knows? There you go, and this tells you here about it. See, if you just eat it without the nutrient ingester, you get 50% hazard protection when consumed. I'm guessing that's for 10 minutes as well. It doesn't say that, but I'm guessing it's the same amount of time. Or the better option, an additional 64% resources collected for 10 minutes per cake when consumed through the nutrient ingester. Okay? And you need cactus flesh, you need frost crystals, and you need milk, and you need eggs, and you need sticky honey. So it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients. 5 ingredients. But some of them you got to process multiple times. Yep. And the eggs and the honey are the hardest to get. Milk, you can find milk everywhere. Milk is easy to find. And if you did the farming quest, and you can grow your own cactus and frostwort. Alrighty. Well, I hope you learned everything you needed to know, and a lot of things you didn't ever want to know. Have fun in the stars. Bye.